Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Live with Savannah. Today I'm also here with a very special guest, the one and only Boosted GT.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going?
So, before we go ahead and get started, so in case people don't know who you are, go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I'm one of those guys, one of those dummies that were street racing way back, right out of high school, and somehow, some way, got lucky enough to get on a little TV show called Street Outlaws. And then it just kind of took off from there, and now I'm on No Prep Kings and doing the race master duties there. Kids, sometimes street racing pays off. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sometimes, not all the time, but
Sometimes you gotta do it responsibly, though.
that is true. If not, it could be the end of it.
Right. That's right. You're absolutely right. But no, yeah, that's just a little bit about me from start to finish. But overall, just a racer, small tire racer. I race when I can, and then of course, like I said, the TV show stuff. Right now, No Prep Kings is the big thing that I'm a part of.
Yeah. So, speaking of Race Master, years ago you started racing the Street Outlaws before you were named the Race Master. How does it feel to be named the Race Master?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's kind of a weird title, like race master. It sounds like so official. I don't know. It's cool to be able to be a part of something like as big as No Prep Kings. That's the highest level of no prep racing that any racer can be a part of, right? So to be able to be in the job that I have, being the race master and kind of running the race, running the drivers meeting, keeping everybody in line, like it's a huge opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it. And that even goes on to mega cash days, doing the race master duties there. I mean, you've got to make tough calls like on the fly, right away, and you got to stick by them. So it's not always an easy job, an easy gig. It comes with its ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I'm having a blast every weekend. I'm doing it.
I love that. That's awesome. It's great to see. It's really cool to watch. Just be able to watch you make those calls and stuff. It's
Yeah.
different, but it's so unique and fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have a good time for sure. And like I've always said, even though like with No Prep Kings, I'm not racing when I'm doing the race master stuff. Any weekend at the track beats mowing the grass or just sitting around. Like, so I'm not complaining one bit.
I definitely agree with that. So speaking of having to make tough calls sometimes, you've been known as a calm and collected guy while doing this and like when arguments break out. So how hard is it sometimes for you to keep your cool and make those tough calls when it's going on?
Yeah, that's a tough part about it is, like you said, being cool, calm, and collected, right? So when it comes to the tough calls, basically you've got racers that are relying on you to make a call. So you have to really think about it and look at it from both sides of the coin. And you got to make the best decision that you think in your judgment is the best call. And there's a second part of that, and that is sticking to your call, right? You don't want to be known as someone that flip flops or can be easily persuaded just because someone doesn't agree with your call. Look, the world is not going to agree with what you do. So as long as you're okay with it and you think you made the right call and you stick by it, then it's all good, right?
I agree with that, and I admire that because the world does not agree with everything someone does one bit. It's
That's
really
right.
divided.
That's right.
But I definitely like admire that because it seems like it's really hard sometimes to be like, um, like
Yeah.
that's I would be under those situations because I'm personally a very indecisive person. So I'm like,
And then imagine having like 60 racers staring at you, waiting for you to make the call. It's like, yeah, all right. But look, like I said, you make the call, you stick by it. You live
exactly.
and die by it. That's how it goes.
That's one thing I can agree with. So MPK Stu says, "Evening to you both."
How's it going?
And my dad says, "Thank you for coming on and doing this for me. He really appreciates it."
Oh, no problem at all. No problem at all. I hope he heard my apology for being 5 minutes late. I'm terribly sorry. I really am. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. It happens all the time. We've had later.
Oh, good. So I didn't win that. That's a good. That's a good thing not to win. Okay, perfect. I don't feel bad then.
We've also had rescheduling, so I
Oh,
mean,
dang. Yeah. See, I wasn't gonna do that to you. I
yeah,
wouldn't
I
do
mean,
that to you.
at
So,
least it's enough to show up.
yeah, no, no, it's all good. I know at first I think I was talking to your mom and it was like trying to figure out the day, and like my messenger, I get a lot of messages, so sometimes if I get a message sent, it may go down. I don't see it, right? So she did the right thing. She kept like messaging me. I was like, ah, crap, that's right. And we finally got it all set up, so it's all good.
Yeah, my mom's been doing all this. We're hoping to make it to 15 Street Outlaws drivers by the end of the year. So
Oh yeah, that'll be
you're
cool.
you make 7.
So you're almost halfway there,
Almost, yeah. And
and you got so by the end of the year, oh, you got 11 months left. You got that. You got
hoping
that.
so. Maybe a good word.
Yeah, yeah. You can take some breaks between now and then. You got that. Shouldn't worry about it.
hoping, hopefully, all this.
Well, if you have some trouble getting someone, let me know. I'll see what I can do.
Definitely love that. Appreciate that so much.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
My mom, she just tries so hard. She's like, I'm reaching out, reaching out, reaching out. Oh,
Yeah, that's good though. I'll tell you, someone, a parent that takes your interest and tries to push and support you. That's really important. It really is. So,
yeah, I appreciate it with my everything. Hoping to make
yeah,
a career out of doing this. So
yeah, that's right.
hoping the dream comes true.
Well, you're doing a good job so far. Keep it up.
Thank you. That means the world to me. Stu said
Dang, look at that.
$1 million
I
now.
swear. I didn't pay. There was no payment made for that comment. I promise. I did not give $20 for him to say that. I did not give $20 for him to say that. So that is on their own.
That's a very specific amount of money.
It was not $20 or 15 or 10. I promise.
Oh goodness. Stu also says help her get Chief. Oh, that'd be a dream.
Yeah, there's some people that I may not be able to help out with. I mean, but look, anything's possible. I'll see what I can do.
I mean, we've reached out because Chief was always one of my favorites growing up. He was one of the ones I watched Die Hard. I mean, a bunch of them were like you and everyone else, but he's one of the ones that kind of truly stuck out to me. He's a dream one. That is my dream goal eventually.
Well,
Eventually.
the least I can do is just, shoot him a text, be like, hey, let's help her out a little bit. I'll see what I can do. I can at least send a text.
That would be awesome. Even if he says
Yeah.
no, it'd still be awesome.
No, no, no. I mean, Justin. Justin's a good guy. He really is. Even though he's not on the show no more, like, he has his reasons for not being on the show. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Like, I have nothing against him. I've been friends with him for many, many years. So,
Yeah.
I don't have no problem sending him a text. At least, like you said, if he says no or no, I ain't got time, or you never know, he may say, yeah, tell her to hit me up, and we'll,
It'd be amazing.
yeah, I'll see what I can do.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
My dad also says we're a huge fan of your as a family. We look forward to seeing you every week on TV. That is true.
Yeah. Well, lately you haven't been able to see us on TV, unfortunately. I think we're kind of in between shows right now. The No Prep Kings season, what was that? What was it, season 6 we just finished? We finished filming that in October, and that's supposed to air, I think, the end of this month is going to be the first episode. So you'll get to see us again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah, you've been missing us the last couple of weeks. We haven't been on. So I think the last thing was Australia that was on. Was that Australia? Yeah, I think it's Australia. So
Speaking of, you got to get a group together and go down to Australia. So how was that?
yeah, we did. We took I think it was 12 of us that went down there. That was a cool trip. I've never been to where we went in that country, and we started off in Perth, which is like, to put it in the US terms, we started off in Los Angeles, right? So Perth is on the far west side of Australia. We went there, we did our race in there, and then we went from Perth. It would be like going from Los Angeles all the way to New York, right? So from Perth to Brisbane, which is on the other side of the continent of Australia. It takes it took like 20 something hours for the cars to get there driving, right? Because they were in trucks. So, um, but it was a fun trip. It really was. We saw a lot of cool stuff. I will be perfectly honest with you. The food there, which I had so high expectations for the food, and it was not good. I searched high and low for a good piece of steak because I love like T-bone steaks,
Yeah.
ribeyes, fillets. Like I love steaks, but the only thing I found was just cardboard after cardboard after cardboard. That's what it tasted like, were pieces of cardboard with a little bit of salt and pepper. So um, that was probably, I'd say, the only bad thing. And plus, we were there for a little over a month, which I'm not complaining about being in Australia for a month. But, like my family didn't get to go with me. So, I went over a month without seeing, I've got an 8-year-old son, I went a month without seeing him. And so that was tough. But as far as the racing goes, it was good. The Australians are good people. They're nice. They will give you the shirt off their back. They're diehard racers there, and they've got some cool cars for sure. Um, but I will say a little bit of their street car stuff is a little bit behind the times, right? It seems like their technology and what they have is maybe 5 or 10 years behind what we have here, and it really showed by how guys, I don't want to say dominated, but I mean we won I think 80% of the races. So, um, but still, it was a good time. There was some cool stuff there. You need to go when you get a chance and check it out. Brisbane was my favorite city out of all of them.
Might take a couple of years, but one day.
Never know. You know what? You build this podcast up, you start making all the money, and then you take this podcast live with Savannah, you take it abroad to Australia and start doing stuff there.
I mean, maybe one day, but I don't get paid for this. I do it out of the goodness of my heart because I love to do
Well, you know what? We're this is a stepping stone. We're right here, and then we just step up, bam, 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 and
it.
then we're
Yep,
there.
that's how it works.
That's right.
Speaking of, my dad's really put me on the spot here. He's asking if you'd ever come to Crossville, Tennessee, or consider coming. Do like
Um,
a person thing one day.
Believe it or not, I have been to Crossville. I have made passes down the track at Crossville. Um, but I don't know as far as a show goes. I don't know. It would probably be like a No Prep Kings show. And last time I remember Crossville, if I remember right, it doesn't hold a lot of people. Is that right? Like there's not a lot of stands there.
It's not too big now. It's like more of like you have to get your ticket when you find out kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Um, you know, No Prep Kings is such a big series now. Like I'm sure y'all have noticed, but we go to, giant facilities. I mean, like the Strip at Las Vegas is a giant facility that holds thousands upon thousands of people. And like, we went to Norwalk and Joliet, and these are all just giant tracks, and we packed it out, right? So, going to Crossville, it would have the capacity, like there'd be standing room only all the way down like the track or something, like down the fence line. But anything's possible. I'm not a part of the negotiations for tracks and
Yeah.
contracts and how that, because there's a lot that goes into the contract work and negotiations and who's getting paid what for the track and this and that, and there's a lot that goes into it with the production company. So thank God I'm not a part of that.
Which I'm pretty sure they've changed it a lot from what it used to be. My dad's saying it's bigger now, so.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah, this was probably 4 years since I've been. I took my orange car there actually. I had just got it running. Like I think Crossville was actually, I think the first track I made full passes in my orange car was Crossville on a radial. It was on a radial day, a radial race y'all had. So
Great luck. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I towed it all the way up there without even making any passes, and then I think I entered. I don't know if it was LDR class or whatever class they had, but I had to race Shane Stack the first round, and he beat me. But it's all good. I had fun.
But I mean, hey, as long as you have fun, that's what matters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a good time. Anytime you're racing, I'm having a blast.
Yeah. So speaking of tracks, what's been your favorite track to race at?
I would say my favorite was Bandamere, just because, and that's in Colorado. Just because, if you've never been to Bandamere, picture a mountain with a racetrack cut in the side of it, and it is just like you're up there racing, halfway up this mountain, and you can just look out and you can see, the town, you can see other mountains with snow on them. And it's just, I don't know, it's like, it's an awesome place to race. The atmosphere is awesome. It's just cool. It's just cool. That's all I can say. And you're like 5,500 feet in the air too. So that makes it interesting also. But it's just a beautiful facility. And I don't know if you know, but it closed down. Like the last race, we had our last No Prep Kings race there last year. And they closed down that track. So that was my favorite place to race. It was an awesome place. It really was.
The way it's described makes it sound beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You'd have liked it. It was a cool place for sure. It really was. But I hear the people that own that track are going to build another one, just I think east of Denver, something like that. So I don't think it'll be in a mountain, but it's okay. The same family will own it, so that'll be cool.
Yeah. So Stu's asks, how does Chris adapt to the heat at tracks and talking? How difficult is it not getting a break?
Oh man, good question. Look, like some tracks we go to, I'll say Tulsa. We always go to Tulsa in the middle of summer for some reason. And Tulsa is, in Oklahoma. In the middle of summer, it's 100 degrees. But, when it's 100 degrees, when you're on the starting line and the surface is black, covered in rubber, the sun just hits that and it's like 140 degrees on the surface. So that heat just radiates back up in my face the entire day. I'm going to tell you, my secret is hydrating, lots of water. I probably go through, I don't know, 15 bottles of water, like at the Tulsa race. I just keep downing them. So, but yeah, I'll be standing there. I got my sunscreen on, and I'm sweating, then my sunscreen sweats into my eye, and then I'm trying to talk while trying not to have my eyes water up, and then I've got methanol, alcohol shooting me in the face from the cars. It's just a really interesting experience that one would just have to, endure themselves to really get the full effect of what's going on in the starting line.
Trying to get other people to feel what you feel.
Yeah, it's, it's just, I'm there all day, right? Standing there on the starting line all day. And like I said, there's definitely worse places to be. And I always kind of keep that in mind. And I'm at the racetrack. I'm watching some fast cars go down this track, and it really is a lot of fun. I'll endure the heat and the sweat and, getting home with just the most moist pair of underwear I could possibly have from the sweat, but I don't care. It's okay. It's not a big deal to me. I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm having fun.
Kenny Evans asks, do you like the big races now or back to your roots in the streets?
Good question. Good question. Look, the big races have their place, right? But for those that know me, they know where I came from as far as the streets, the small races, the small no prep races on like true outlaw tracks. And when I say outlaw, I mean like guardrail tracks with grass in the center of them. I mean, for like a center that separates the two lanes. I'll always love outlaw no prep racing. I'll always love, street racing, stuff like that. That's just who I am. That's just how I started. And you never ever lose that, right? So if I have my choice, I'm always choosing the roots, right? Where I started. That's the stuff I love.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like something that's been in my heart forever, it'd be like more of a top choice, regardless of how amazing something is. It's the roots. Like one of my first interviews, Street Outlaws interviews, one I always remember was Caleb Morton. So that'll be with me. Because that was when I was like first starting out. First year I was interviewing people and I got that opportunity and now I've grown.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. You'll never forget that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't, you don't forget your roots, you don't forget where you come from. And that's, I'm the same way. I'm with you.
They're all just something that sticks with you because it was what made you what you are today.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you mentioned earlier that sometimes it's hard because you haven't got to see your family and stuff. So how do you manage your life outside of Street Outlaws and keeping the two separate?
Yeah, good question. So when it comes to family time and Street Outlaws, and I still have a normal job during the week that I go to. Um, when No Prep Kings is in its full swing, and I don't know if you knew or not, but like last season, there was some weeks where we were racing 6 or 7 weeks in a row. So it was every weekend, racing, 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 and I'm lucky enough to with my what I do for No Prep Kings, I can fly in. Okay. This is where the racers have it harder than I do. They have to drive, they got to drive all night long, 20 hours sometimes to get to these next races and turn their cars around, fix whatever they broke at the last race. And this all costs money too, right? And so that part, the racers have it way, way, way harder than I do, and I recognize that for sure. What I have to go through, stand on the starting line all day. They pay for it too when they're having to drive all night without any sleep and thrash on their car. I mean, it all evens out. But to answer your question, because I can fly in, sometimes I'm able to take my boy with me. Right, he can come with me, and obviously Kayla's already there. She's racing, so that also helps. Um, but my little boy plays select baseball, and so tournament ball. And for anyone that knows anything about select tournament baseball, that's nonstop, and it's on the weekends as well. So luckily this past year, his tournaments were on Sundays, so we were able to do the races Friday and Saturday. And then I got the 5 a.m. flight Sunday after being done filming at like 1 a.m. Saturday. Just go straight to the airport, get on the plane, land. I mean, I've got I coach on his team, so I've got his uniform. I got the uniform in my suitcase. I go straight to the field, and we just start playing baseball and start coaching. And you know what? His team's pretty good, and they'll go all day long playing, win the tournament. So before I know it, it's like 8 p.m. and we're just finishing baseball, and I haven't been asleep. I haven't showered. I'm sure I smell like crap, but you know what? It's all good. You make the sacrifices for things that are important to you, and so it don't bother me one bit.
That is exactly right. No matter how busy the schedule, as long as you're doing what you love.
That's right.
It's one thing I've learned over doing cheer, archery, keeping my grades up, doing my interviews, still having a life outside of it.
Yeah.
I agree with you on.
Yeah.
Kenny Evans is wondering, will you get a No Prep Kings car?
Good question. So No Prep Kings cars now. I mean, the level of car that it takes to be competitive in No Prep Kings. I mean, you're talking $250,000, somewhere in there. Look, I've got my cars that I have, and I'm not about to go financially, you know, uh, you know, financially in debt, trying to chase a series. That's just not what I'm going to do, right? Um, I've got my cars that I have that I love to race and fit what type of racing that I like to do. And honestly, racing No Prep Kings and trying to chase that, not something I'm interested in doing because I don't have the backing or the financial means to keep up with that. If I blow a motor up, I don't have four other motors stacked in my stacker trailer that I don't have. I don't have a stacker trailer, so it's tough. It really is, and some of those, hats off to those guys and girls that chase that because that is a huge financial undertaking to do that. It really is. You got to have multiple motors, multiple transmissions, the whole 9 yards to chase that. So you break a motor one week. Well, look, the show don't stop for you. We're racing next weekend. If you ain't got a spare motor, then I guess you're not racing, right? So
yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
You're
Had to
good.
get my. So there was a text that showed up and it was covering my face, your face, everything. I couldn't see nothing. So we're back. Sorry about that.
I saw a black screen. It's all good. It's all good. So, speaking of racing, if you could race any one driver, who would that driver be?
Good question, man. Um, I would say, I think if I've ever raced him. Yeah, I have. I've raced him once. I'm good friends with Murder Nova.
Mm.
He's a great guy, great competitor. I'm trying to think when the last time is we raced. I want to say, my gosh. Oh, we've raced on the Street Outlaws street show with my orange car on big tires. And, we went back and forth so many times racing him. But he's just, I don't know. He's a great dude. I would race him 100 times. And that's pretty much who I'd race.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great seeing the friendships everyone, or like most people, men do
Yeah.
one another while on the show. Because I mean,
Yeah.
not everyone's gonna be friends, which is expected. But it's great to see the ones that do and how they connect and can have a fair race without, it being
No.
heart to heart.
Well, that's the thing about like Sean. I mean, he's going to give it all he has every single time, right? And at the other end of the road or other end of the track, he's going to tell if he won, he's going to be like, man, that was a good race. Or if he loses by a little bit, he'll be like, it was a great drag race. I'm going to come back because he's going to come back.
Yeah.
That's just how he is. He's
He
not going to
always-
take the L. He's coming back. And I don't know. He's just a great competitor, man. And I look up to him. I really do.
So how is it when you do race one another, like someone you're close with or something? How is it to feel the race and regardless of who wins?
Yeah, I mean, so it's interesting, like when you're racing your friends or your buddies, stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you, when we get next to each other and we're lining up, like we're trying to beat the crap out of each other. We really are. Like just because he's my friend, like I ain't going easy on him. And like for Sean, for example, he's the same way. Like he ain't gonna go easy. Like we're not giving each other nothing. But you get to the other end, everybody's safe, no one crashed. Whoever wins, they won, right? You both made good passes. You say, man, that was a damn good pass. And like I said, whoever wins, whoever loses. If I'm gonna lose it, in, I'll be like, man, I'm coming back. So you better be ready.
Yep, that's exactly right. I feel like sometimes when you race someone you're closer with, it's like even more of a competition, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. We keep track. We keep track of the wins and losses. That's for sure.
I definitely would too if I was in the position. So, have you ever tried any other types of racing? If not, would you like to?
Um, Look, I like all types of racing. Really, some people, only like one type, like drag racing or whatever. I like all types. I'm gonna tell you, I love Formula One. I love that type of racing. I love, believe it or not, I love dirt track racing. Like we got to do it for one of the shows. We got to get in dirt cars, and I had so much fun. Like just even though we're going in circles, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like it was a blast. But yeah, like drift cars, stuff like that. Oh man, rally car. I'll do all of it. I really would. If I could do all types of racing, I would. I really would if I could afford it. Absolutely.
I don't blame you. Because, like,
Yeah.
growing up interviewing, I've kind of, like, came to love every single thing, like, every single class of interviewing stuff, which I'm always going to be a dirt track girly at heart because my brother's
Yeah.
growing up racing on the dirt track. He races a late model and dirt car. I mean, if you ever want to try it, come
Your
on.
your brother's name's Kane, right? Is it
Yes,
Kane?
it is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Don't invite me. I'll be there. I'll do it. Now I will say you might want to put me in one of your not so nicer cars because look, rubbing is racing, and I take it to heart. So if you have any nice cars, you might not want to put me in it.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, racing does get a little dirty.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've seen them. I've seen them dirt track racers. They get done. They get in the pits. They start fighting each other. I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's happened before. Yeah, I've seen it too.
Honestly, every dirt track race I've been to, there's been some type of a fisticuff in the pits. I've witnessed it every time, but it's all good. They're all passionate about the racing. They don't like to be bumped into, so it is what it is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at least it shows they love what they do.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I mean, if you ever want to come down, try a car, just let us know.
All right, I'm gonna take you up on that. So when I show up, don't put me in the nice car. Put me in the whatever loaner car or one y'all put over to the side or retired or something.
I mean, we'll definitely have to do that. So, what advice would you give someone who is just getting into street racing for the first time?
Um, so street racing, I would say first and foremost, don't do the the type of street racing now that you see on like TikTok and stuff, where they call it street racing, but where the guys are drifting in intersections and closing it all down, or racing in traffic, or with cars on the highway like around them. Like that's one thing about what we did. We never, even back before the show, when we were racing, we were in these industrial parks. It was like 2 a.m., not a soul in sight. And that's how we started. And that's what I try to, people that ask about it, yeah, back in the day, stoplight to stoplight, our parents did that, right? My dad did that. There's a time and a place for it. And I'm gonna tell you, in traffic, around other people, it's just not really the spot to do it, right? Because you can ruin your life really, really fast. You really can, and someone else's life. So it's a dangerous sport. It's high risk. So that would be I would say make it as controlled as possible.
So, speaking of like how you mentioned kind of safety, what is your stand on safety?
Are you talking like, what do you mean as far as safety, like safety equipment, or like street racing, like as far as what we do to make sure it's safe? Like which type? What do you mean?
I think safety just all around, both, all of the above.
Yeah, so we'll start with safety gear, right? Street racing, like I said, there it's much more dangerous, much more high risk. You have telephone poles, you have light poles, you have curbs, you have fences and things that you can hit that wouldn't be on a racetrack. So making sure you have obviously helmet, your fire gear, whether it's 20,
Oh,
pants, jacket. Am I still there, or did I get disconnected?
oh, you're here. You
Okay,
did for
cool.
a second, but
Yeah, I saw it kind of go black for a second. But it's imperative that you wear all your safety gear you can, because the risk is much higher for you wrecking on the street versus the track. I feel like in being seriously injured. So that covers that part. But then when it comes to racing on the street, you know, picking the right spot, like I said earlier, is super important. Obviously, we don't race on roads that have cross streets or traffic going across it, or you know, or anything like that. We are very particular with the spots we pick, and to make sure that we're not going to put other people at in harm's way. So, we have people. We actually now, when we have street races, if the pot is like $200 or $300, we'll actually make it 330 or 350, and that extra money goes to another group of people that we call security, and what they do is their job is obviously to make sure no one comes driving down the road the wrong way, or enters the road. They're at the other end. They're making sure no one's coming, making sure, obviously, cops too as well, but making sure that there's not a minivan about to turn down the road or come, anything like that. So when they're on, walkie talkies, radios, and we pinch off that money for them to have them have our backs, right, and to keep everyone safe. So that's one way we do it.
I really admire that because I mean, when you think about it, if you're just racing on a regular street, security like can be very much helpful in protecting lives and, of yours and others.
Yeah, yeah. It only, you know, it only costs just a little bit of money to have a little bit of extra security there. Like I said, pull a little bit off the pot, pay those guys. They've got your back, and they make sure everybody goes home the same. Make sure the same people that showed up go home, right? So, well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kenny Evans says we grew up in street racing. It was a way of life back then, but it's changed dramatically. So how do you feel that it's changed these days, or how do you feel about it?
How do I feel street racing has changed?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, as with anything in the world, it evolves, right? It changes. Obviously, there are newer laws now that affect things, whereas back when my dad was street racing around, you could do it, and the cops would just If you got caught, I don't even think they took you to jail. I think they just wrote you a ticket. But nowadays, you get caught and they're taking your car, you're going to jail. You know, certain states, I think it's a felony now. So it's the ramifications have definitely changed over the years. But I kind of covered a little bit earlier about the different like new style
Yeah.
of like kids and what they're doing with closing down intersections and doing donuts and all that dumb stuff. You know, they call that street racing now. But I will say also that street racing has changed because the cars are much faster now. You know, back in 2008 when I had my original yellow car, you know, that yellow car would run like a 550 eighth mile at the track, but I could put the same tune up in and it would pretty much, you know, go close to that. You know, I mean, I didn't change anything. It just worked, right? And now if you're running 550s or 560s on like a concrete road, like you're way behind. Like that's just nowhere near fast enough. Maybe on asphalt, like kind of bad asphalt, that's okay, decent. But for concrete, like a good concrete road, ain't gonna get you there. Ain't gonna get there. So I would say that's a big way it's changed. The cars are so much faster now.
Yeah. Vehicles have changed dramatically from, for example, 2008 until now.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's insane. And like chassis cars, you wouldn't see a lot of chassis cars on the street and stuff like that nowadays. My God, like you can. I think it's a majority of chassis cars now that show up to the street. You know, they just slap small tires on or whatever, and they go racing. So, but it's all good. That's how things change. It evolves. So
Yeah, definitely is. So, people have been wanting to see you back in the car racing regularly for a while now. So, when can your fans see you back in the car?
well, so I've just got. Hang on. Oh, right. You see it back there? So I just got that
Yeah.
thing, the yellow one. It was taken apart for all of last year, and then the last No Prep Kings race at Ennis, they wanted me to put it back together and do the locals only. So I put it all back together, like thrashed. I had 4 days notice, and like it was a car that was literally in the back of my shop, covered in dust, had nothing on it because I'd taken it all apart. And so I thrashed, put it all together, and I raced on there. And then since it was together and running, like I've been to a couple street races since then, just local things like that. But as far as the show goes and racing, I don't know. I mean, if it's No Prep Kings, you probably won't see me race on No Prep Kings. But if we go back to street stuff and things like that, then you'll definitely see me race. I mean, I love racing, and I'll do it any chance I can.
Well, we love to see it. I love it personally.
I appreciate it.
So, one last question about the Race Master before we ask the big final question. But when Discovery Channel asked you to be the Race Master, what were your first thoughts and what was kind of running through your head at the moment?
Oh man, good question. So let me set up the background first of how all that came about. So I think it was No Prep Kings season 2, maybe. I think it was No Prep Kings season 2. It was at Tulsa again, Tulsa, and I really didn't have much to do with No Prep Kings. I think I was just there to race small tire with my I think it was my orange car, maybe. It might have been my yellow car. But anyways, I was just there, and the small tire class was over with, and I can't remember. I think it was like an oil down or something. And so this was before No Prep Kings had, an announcer. Really, they didn't really. I mean, they had kind of a race master, but not really. Chuck was doing here and there when he could, but at this race, Chuck was still in the race, so he was busy getting his car turned around. And so the producers are like, "Well, we need people up there to talk on the mic." And they had Doc up there and Dominator, and then those guys are like, "All right, we're done talking." And they look over at me and they're like, "What about you?" I was like, "Ooh, no. There's thousands of people here. God, no, that sounds terrible. I got to talk in front of all them." Anyways, I ended up doing it, and I actually had a lot of fun, right? And they looked at it and they were just like, "Well, he's not. He doesn't really have a big tire car." to race because I was racing small tire, and he's like, well, they're like, well, do you want to start just in between small tire, come up here and talk a little bit here and there, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come, I'll come do it. It was kind of like a joint effort between me and Chuck, and so I did that, and then finally they were like, well, look, we're gonna let Chuck focus on his racing. Do you want to be the full time race master? And I was like, man, so I just fly in and do this, and then fly out. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And by then I was used to talking in front of, thousands of people that were sitting there staring at you, right? And so it was a cool deal. But there's a lot of people don't know, but at the No Prep Kings races when I would race, like season 2 and 3, I was there racing small tire. I had small tires on my car, and I would just enter the No Prep. I'd enter the No Prep Kings class. I was doing that to get a pass for on my car so I could race small tire. Everybody's always like, "Oh, you've got one win in the No Prep Kings big tire class." I was like, "Well, yeah, no crap. I was on small tires, and I would race the No Prep Kings main class and get beat first round, but then turn around and go to small tire. And this was back when small tire paid 10,000 to win. We'd go on to win the 10,000 for a majority of the races, and we had a great time doing it. But yeah, doing the race master stuff, I'll never complain about it. It's a great gig. It's a great job. I have a lot of fun doing it, and I get to hang out with my buddies at the track, multiple weekends out of the year. What more could you ask for?
It seems like a lot of fun. 'Cause I love just watching him, just being like, man, it seems so fun.
Yeah, we have fun. We really do. And I'm running around doing dumb stuff, shooting shirts and hitting people in the face with the shirts, and then, telling jokes and trying to make people laugh. And, it's a good time. It really is.
That's something I would like. If I could have like one opportunity to do that, I would love it.
Yeah, yeah.
One.
Well, if we're ever close, I don't know if we're coming close to Tennessee, maybe Bowling Green, but if you want to go the race, let me know. Get you in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'll have to do that.
Yep. Come on.
Because I will not turn down that.
Yep. Let me know. You can let me know what race is close to you. I'll make sure to get you in there.
That'd be awesome. You're just awesome.
Hey, you know what? It's just little stuff that we can do. Try to give back, a little bit. Like I said, if I've got the means to help you out, I'm gonna do the best I can.
I mean, you're shooting Shiva texts and you're gonna help me. Wow.
Yeah.
Dream come true, even if nothing happens. But that sums up my last question.
Okay.
My dad made a joke. Speaking of shirts, shoot one this way.
Oh, shoot! Shoot a shirt that way. All right. Well, I don't know if I can't do that through the phone, but if y'all have your mom send me your address, and I'll send y'all some shirts.
Alrighty, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, of course.
But that sums up my last question. But thank you so much for the time you took out of this. It's been a blast. It went 43 minutes, which I was not intending on. But I mean, hey, it was fun.
It's all good. It didn't seem like 43 minutes. I feel like I've only been sitting here for like 15 or so, but it's all good. The problem is I start talking, I don't shut up. So that's the problem. So.
I do the same thing. So both of that just together, it calls for a long time.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I had fun. I really appreciate you having me on here, and I'll say, keep up the good work. Keep on trying to get, more guests on here, and get on a regular schedule. I think you have a regular schedule that you do like every Thursday, or is it every Monday, or is this kind of a different time than normal for you? Or
we do, but sometimes a little like my personal schedule kind of there's a little notch in it, but we try to keep it on a regular schedule most of the time. So.
Yeah. Like I said, keep on a regular schedule. Keep trying to reach out, get the guests, do like different types of racing. I'm sure you're already doing that, but get a big broad audience of people to watch. But you're doing a great job. You really are.
Thank you. That means the world to me because I'm like it just does.
Yeah. Wow. No, you're doing great. There's there's people your age that wouldn't even go through the effort to do this, and it takes effort, right, to get guests and to set all this up and to get your questions sorted out that you want to ask. Like, there's a lot of pre-planning that goes into these. I totally get it. So just keep up the good work. You're doing a great job.
Because I got this opportunity thrown at me when I was like 9, and I'm still here.
Yeah, you're doing great.
And I wouldn't change it at all.
Yep. Well, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for watching, and thank you yet again. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Yep. No problem at all. I've had fun. And like I said, I'll see what I can do with Chief. And when we come near your area, let me know what race you want to go to, and I got you.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Yep. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. No problem. Well, I'll
Bye,
see
guys.
everybody later. Yep. Had fun. See y'all.